And before we get to the activity of the day, I would like to invite FCS Karanja, our CEO, to come and give us a bit of information about the profession and what we do at the Institute, so that those of us who are not members, or those of us who are members and are yet to appreciate what we do, they can get an understanding. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome FCS Karanja.
Thank you. Thank you, FCS Kema. All right, allow me to take you through just the next few minutes, a few items. I know the registration board was here, and I will not bother you with a lot of details because we are created under the same act, and therefore whatever they told you about that act applies both to the board and also to the Institute. But for the benefit of those who are interacting with the Institute for the first time, the Institute is a creature of the law created under Cap 534 of the laws of Kenya, and we are currently doing revision of that act. There is currently a bill ready, which is called the the Governance Secretaries Bill 2024, that will change the legal structure of the profession. But for now, our act is the Certified Public Secretaries of Kenya Act, Cap 534 of the laws of Kenya. That is our mission, vision, and mandate, and you can see everything is about governance. Those are core values. Among the few things that we have undertaken over the last few years listed there, and we already mentioned about the governance, ethics, mentorship, and internship program, and we have a number of mentees who are with us. This program we started in the year 2022 during this annual conference, and we are now in the third cohort of the same, and we continue to invite partners and sponsors to partner with us in the implementation of this program. You can either partner with us in this program either by sponsoring those students for the various activities that are scheduled, or you can also give us internship opportunities in your place. So if you inform us, then we can formally, through the Institute, we can facilitate those mentees to be part of your interns. So we continue to mobilize your support, and we will highly appreciate your support in that internship and mentorship programs. The Institute also has developed a number of codes of governance, including Muogozo. We participated. I know there are a number of people from Capital Markets Authority here, so Edwin and a number of other people. We participated in the development of the Code of Governance for issuers of securities to the public by CMA, as well as many other. And we continue to support institutions to develop governance processes, policies, and other instruments. In terms of research, we've done a number of publications. Some of them are outside there. Those who are students, one of the exams that you examined is on management of meetings. This one, we've already done a book on that and is available, and as well as quite a number of other publications that we do. The reason why I bring this is because we continue to rely both on our members and our partners for these publications. So should you, for instance, one of the documentation we do is what we call the governance journal. For the governance journal, we have two. There is the one that is peer-reviewed, which is more academic, especially for those of you who want to publish for purposes of PhD and other academic programs. This is a peer-reviewed journal internationally, and is also approved by a number of universities for purposes of publishing. But we also have another journal which we call the Governance Practitioner. That is for most of the people here who don't want to bother themselves in those academic writing, citations and all that. There is something, an idea that you have that you want just to write, have a page, one page on the same. Just share with us and we can publish that in our practitioners. Most importantly, and that's why, especially for the CEOs who are here, and board chairpersons and board members who are here, we want to interest you with our Champions of Governance Award. This is an annual assessment that we do for institutions. We come to your institution, we assess your governance practices, policies, and we give you a report with recommendations on areas of possible improvement. Actually, based on this, we supported NEPAD. I can see the CEO of NEPAD, APRM, is here. We supported NEPAD in developing a similar mechanism for county governments, peer review, because they normally have the peer review mechanism for heads of states. And we proposed to them a few years ago, why don't you customize what you have, borrow a bit from our Champions of Governance Award and customize one for county governments. And the CEO was telling me the other day that now they are at the final stages of the same. So we want to invite all institutions to participate in the Champions of Governance Award. We'll come to your institution, assess you, and give you report on areas of improvement, but you also compete with other institutions so that you know where you are in comparison to other institutions. So should you be interested, kindly contact the Secretariat. We are able to give you more details on the same and for purposes of improvement of your governance parameter. This is open to either public, private, or non-governmental institutions, any kind of institution, including county governments. The county public service boards and all the other institutions therein are welcome for this. The Institute over the last few years has also participated through our members. All these things we do through our members because the Institute is members. The role of the Secretariat is just to facilitate our members in achieving the mandate of the Institute. So every activity that we do here is done through our members who are currently 5,000 members. So we've, in the recent past, supported quite a number of institutions on a number of these areas, and we continue, especially capacity building in regard to governance and other related areas. In terms of membership, I'm sure Patrick must have mentioned how do you become a member, and I'll not go into this except to tell you that members of the Institute are trained, examined, certified, and regulated on all these matters. When you look at the CASDEB syllabus, you see issues of governance, compliance, advisory, management, administration, consultancy, corporate recovery, and all those other things there, including what we call governance audits. So should you, if you are an institution here, and you require any of these services from our members, just contact us and we'll be able to support you. If you don't have a certified secretary, if you don't have a board secretary, a company secretary, a corporation secretary, contact the Institute and we'll be able, whether or not the law requires you to have one. It is for your own good that you have one. We normally say the board has two main functions. One is strategy and the other one is governance. As for strategy, you have the CEO to assist you on execution of strategy. Or matters governance, you have the CS, your board secretary, to support you. So it is very important you separate the two because if you don't, and therefore the CEO is juggling the two of them, there is one of them that is going to suffer. So for efficiency of your organization, we highly recommend that every organization should have a secretary who is a professional, because some of you are secretaries but you are not certified as so. We highly recommend that person should be a professional. I'm sure Patrick talked about this. If you are looking to become a member, just contact Patrick here, the registration board will be able to support you. Our chief guest this morning just confirmed, Patrick, I'm giving you a client. I don't know how much you are going to pay me. Our chief guest this morning has just confirmed, because he is qualified at the requirement of the 2002 advocates of the High Court of Kenya who were admitted by 2002. He is ready to join membership, and therefore on Monday ensure that he has the papers to sign. So that is the journey, a very simple journey. And why I say simple, most of you seated here are adult learners, and you've undertaken other courses in the course of your life. And one of the principles, we have the examiner here, CASNEP CEO is here. One of the principles in the examination process is that if you have done any of the papers here, then you will not be required to repeat. Either you have done it through a diploma or a degree, a bachelor's degree, then you'll be exempted. So if you look at this syllabus, then you appreciate that most of you will be exempted almost the entire foundation level. Number of you, you'll also be exempted, especially if you have done law. You also be exempted some of this. Then if you have done masters, any paper which relates to research, again you'll be exempted. Paper number 12 and 17. So you realize that, or you appreciate that within maybe 2 or 3 sittings, you will already be a member. It's such a simple journey to becoming a member of the institute. Where do CSs work? That's where our members work. Every company created under the Companies Act, and which is a public company, is required to have a company secretary. Every company, again, created under the Companies Act and whose shareholding is more than 5 million share capital, again, is required to have a company secretary by law. Also, we have, but I said earlier, it is also a good recommendation. Even those who are not materially required to have, the Companies Act 2015 and the Registrar of Companies has just walked in, has so many compliance requirements that it will be very difficult for you to survive without a professional supporting you in that. And our members are trained to support you in regard to compliance with the Companies Act, and therefore we highly recommend that you get one. If you are a small entity, you don't have to engage one on full-time basis. You can outsource the services of a company secretary, and the institute will support you in getting the same. Again, for all County Public Service Board, if you are serving as a secretary to the County Public Service Board and you are not compliant with the Act, know that you are in breach of the law. There is a general principle in law that if, for instance, the substantive holder is supposed to be a CS, even when you are acting, then even as an acting CS, you still require to be qualified. And all those others, the state corporations, again for all state corporations, this one in the last 2 years, or the last 1 year, we've really mobilized to ensure that now almost all state corporations, very few are not compliant, but most of the state corporations now have complied with this, the governance audits and all that. That is how ideally an organogram of a CS function should look like. One of the reasons why some of you keep on complaining that we have a CS but we are still struggling in regard to the services that you people told us a CS should offer. We are not seeing them being matched by our CSs because some of you have such a huge organization, and yet you have only employed one person called the corporation secretary without any other person supporting them, and you want them to perform all these duties. It becomes very difficult. The role of the CS, because it's the governance professional in the organization, is not just board services. It transcends across the entire organization. Everything to do with governance, ethics, all those things. The CS is supposed to be responsible for the same. And therefore, for you to have your CS being efficient and effective, then it is very difficult, especially if you are a huge organization, to have only one officer that you call company secretary. It requires to be a whole department. I know some of you, some of the institutions represented here, they have what they call the board secretariat, KRA and the likes. And in there you find there are quite a number of qualified CSs. So that way they are able to efficiently not only serve the board, but also deal with all the other governance issues across the organization. And finally, this is not finally, it's the second last finally. The Institute is developing a training center at its premises in Upper Hill. We continue to invite you to partner with us in this project. We are doing an 8, and these projects keep on evolving. So next time when I tell you it's 15, don't question me. If you give us more money, we can continue going high, because the foundation that we have done is for 15 stories. So when we tell you this year you are doing 2, it's based on the resources which are available this year. So should you give us more resources, next time we will tell you we are doing 10. But the structure done, the foundation done is for a 15 stories building. So we want to do a modern training facility in Upper Hill. We are inviting individuals, whether members or otherwise, and corporates to sponsor or to partner with us in this project. That is what it's supposed to do. We have registered something we are calling a Governance and Ethics Academy. This academy will be housed there just to capacity build institutions on matters governance and ethics. We will have a modern library and all the other things which are written there. So the entire cost for the initial 7 stories, the 175 is for 7 stories, is 175 million. I know some of you are looking and asking only. Yes, if you can fund this, we will be very happy. But this year, we will, by October this year, we will have done first, this one written here, ground and first floor, at a cost of 70 million. And we appreciate all of you who have come up in large numbers to support this program. Up to now, we have not taken even a single shilling in debt, and we have done, the construction is ongoing because of your generous contribution. We continue to invite you to partner with us. You can take a floor. One floor only costs 25 million, and it will be named after you. But you can also take a room, and that room forever will be named after you. And your great-grandchildren will know that there is a room. This is not an investment, just to clarify. It's not co-ownership. The property belongs 100% to the Institute, and therefore when we name a room after you, it doesn't mean it belongs to you. It means that we are naming it in honor. So that is the current status as at Monday this week. That's where we were. You can see we have made significant progress in terms of the development of the project. And all this is because of support that we have received so far from both members and non-members. Whatever you are able to give, whether it's 5,000, whether it's 1,000, this is free donation. The council has not put any fee which is compulsory, is voluntary contribution, as depending with your ability and your willingness to give. And we believe that we are able to finance these projects from our own resources because we know that we are able to do it. So should you want a room after your name, there is a lady here called Gloria. Gloria, maybe you can start. Gloria is the project champion. She is the one spearheading this project, our corporate secretary. So you can see her. You can see myself or the rest of the members of Secretariat here, and we'll be able to give you more details on how you can come in. Thank you, Gloria. How you can come in terms of sponsoring this project. So that was the status as at Monday. So this week they are putting the slab for the ground floor. So by the time we come for the AGM, you find the superstructure of ground floor and first floor we expect to be finished. So We expect to be not necessarily up to here because the finishing will not be done, but at least the superstructure will have be done for ground floor and first floor. So if you want to sponsor, those are the sponsorship packages. For individuals, you can give between 10,000 to 40,000 for these benefits, and they are listed there. As part of the conference materials, we will also be sharing this so that should you be interested, then you can get in touch with us and we'll be happy to liaise with you. You may not also not be able in a position to give as an individual, but you can recommend us either to the organization where you work for corporate sponsorship, which is indicated there, or any other donor that you can pass a good word for us so that we can get any sponsorship for this, and we'll be happy to. We have received a few corporates, some in public sector and private institutions who have already written to us and told us they would want to partner with us in exchange of us a room named after them and all that. Those are the benefits written there, and that is courtesy our members who have passed on a good word regarding the project. Finally, we have some upcoming events that we want to bring to your attention. In the month of May, we'll be having a program that we are calling 360-degree board development program. I believe that is already in your folders that you are given, and therefore you can look for more details in that program. We will highly interest you on the same. For those of you who are in the water sector, as well as the SACCO sector, we'll be having a workshop separate, one for the water sector and the other one for the SACCO sector separate, but on the same dates, running concurrently on the dates indicated. There is a program we started last year for churches, church leadership governance workshop, in collaboration with a number of other religious institutions. We will be having it on the dates indicated there, and we interest you also to participate. One of the programs that we started this year, but which has turned up to be one of the most popular events, is what we call the Board Secretariat's Capacity Building Program. This year we had it in Naivasha. We had around 200 of you participating, and the feedback we got was overwhelming in terms of this program. Those of you who are supporting boards in various capacities, when we talk about board secretariats, we are not talking about corporation sector. Is anybody who supports board or interact with the board in one way or another, including the internal auditors who are the secretaries to the audit committee. Is a program that we highly recommend you participate in. And then we have the annual award ceremony and the 11th Fellows Convention. For those who are members and you are looking forward, or you believe you have done enough contribution to the institute and to the profession in one way or another, and you would want the council to commend you, give you an award of commendation or fellowship, we will be making a call in the next few weeks for you to get a nominee. So you get somebody to nominate you and submit that nomination for the council to consider through nomination. And you can be given fellowship. Of course, you eliminate what you have done for the profession, and you'll be able to be considered. It's normally considered by a committee the council has put in place called the Fellows Steering Committee, which is made up of fellows of the institute who consider, who look at what the contribution you have given. Similarly, should you be having a person who is not a member of the institute, but who you think has contributed significantly to governance practices in this country, our act, the CPSK Act, provides for something we call honorary fellowship. Again, we'll be inviting you to commend them. We have the CEOs and chairpersons program. The speaker participated last time in this program. You can, during your free time, you can ask him how it was. Again, we started it last year, and it has turned up to be one of the most popular programs which we want to interest you in. And finally, ensure that you participate in the COG Award, just as a reminder. Those are our contacts. Should you require any further details, kindly reach out to us. Thank you.